Hello everybody, Andy here again. Right, this video is a response to Chris Bugs in Rugs' latest show and tell video. I think it's number 9. And what she wanted us to do, pretend we were going to a desert island, like a desert island disc type of thing for those of you in the UK. And she wanted us to sort of choose 6 CDs that we would grab in case of fire or whatever, and that we would take onto this sort of desert island. Now, I've thought about this before because, as I said, we've got a program in the UK called Desert Island Discs where you are allowed to take 8 pieces of music, so it's a slightly different thing. We've got 6 CDs. But I've often thought, now how do you pick these CDs? If you're going to be stranded on a desert island, if you're on your own or with other people, it looks like some great people are coming along and bringing some good music, by the way. But you have to sort of look at this in 2 different ways, in my opinion. You either pick the sort of 6 CDs or the 8 pieces of music, depending on which one you're looking at, that mean the most to you, that hold the most memories, that will remind you of the times when you weren't on that desert island, or do you sort of pick the 6 CDs or 8 pieces of music that are your favourites? So I've gone for a bit of a mixture, I suppose, because your favourite CDs generally going to have some sort of good memories, aren't they? So I'll go through, and this is not easy. As from someone who's just done an 8-part video about one box of vinyl records, you can imagine I've got down here I've got boxes full of CDs, and I've got CDs other places. I've got them under the bed. I've literally got hundreds and hundreds of CDs, and to actually narrow it down to 6 is very, very hard. I've just been looking through them, pulling loads out and thinking, oh, I've forgotten about that. Oh, yeah, because I need to categorise them in sort of real high fidelity style, because they're not in alphabetical order, and they should be. But maybe that would be a project for a month or so. So anyway, right, the first CD, a band that came out of the sort of the punk era here in the UK. The band are called The Undertones, and this is a compilation album, and I've got 3 compilation albums here, because although I was thinking about just going for like ordinary albums, if you know what I mean, original albums, I thought the best way to get the best songs out of people usually is compilation CDs. So this is The Undertones, a band who wrote one of my very favourite songs of all time called Teenage Kicks. And if you're wondering what the little labels are, if I can get my finger in there, these are from the sort of radio station when we used to categorise them. I used to loan them CDs, so lots of them have got labels on. So that's them, an excellent band, a band I grew up with in the punk era, I suppose, and their very first album is a classic of that sort of era. Very sort of poppy as well, and not quite as punky as some of the other bands. And a little story around their first album. I remember when I bought it, and I had a bit of a hangover, you know, and then what it's like when you're sort of 18, 19 or whatever. Took it home, put it on, listened to it, and was sat there sort of smiling the whole time, which is what I will probably do, because this has really made me smile, this sort of CD. And by the end of the CD, I've forgotten all about the hangover. So that's one thing, if you want to know about it, play music, it knocks it away. The second one, an American band, one of the few American bands in this group, the Counting Crows, or just Counting Crows should I say, and this was their second album called Recovering the Satellites, one of their sort of more rocky albums. I think they're a brilliant band, quite a diverse band, great lyrics, great musicianship, lots of members of the band, so there's lots of things that they can do, and I've loved every single one of their albums. Their new album is very good as well, but that is for me the best one, and sort of a standalone CD, a great one. Another original CD, and one that might surprise a couple of people possibly, is Supertramp. Back in the mid-1970s, and their album Crime of the Century. And I remember hearing this when it came out in the 1974 sort of time, because it was played on the radio quite a lot. An excellent sort of concept album, I suppose. Runs right the way through, as you'd imagine. Great musicians, great songs. One of those sort of bands I think are very much underrated, or not. They're not hip. They're one of those bands that a lot of people say, oh no, not Supertramp. But I don't care. I'm going to stand up and say, I like Supertramp. Don't like some of their later stuff when they split up and some of them got back together, but that's an excellent album. One, no great surprise really, the Beatles, and I had to pick one of their albums, and this is probably their most, I think, their best album, Revolver, from a great period, sort of the mid-60s, when they were sort of starting to experiment a bit more. Some great songs on here, Eleanor Rigby, which is one of my favourite songs of all times, things like She Said, And Your Bird Can Sing, which are great songs, I think. They're great guitar songs as well, and the wonderful Tomorrow Never Knows as well. Right, another American, Jimi Hendrix. Definitely the best guitar player that's ever lived, and I do wonder what he'd be doing now, probably doing lots of jazz or something, but maybe we like him because he did die young. There's always that thing about these people who die young, maybe they left their best material behind, but this is a compilation album. I love the album that I do like of his is the first album, Are You Experienced. I'll admit I'm not a fan of the Electric Ladyland album. One of those that I bought, I thought I liked it and bought it and thought, oh no, I'm not so keen on this after all. Some brilliant tracks on it, but this has got just about everything you want on it. So Jimi Hendrix, and this is a compilation, so get your air guitars out to that on the island. Now I think this is, anyway, this is the sixth one. I've got a seventh because I can't, you know, I need to have a seventh one. Someone else picked this one. This is Led Zeppelin and Remasters, a great compilation. Led Zeppelin is certainly, if not my favourite band of all time, certainly up there in the top 5. Can't really fault them in lots of different ways. This has got about just about everything you ever want on there, and it's been remastered by Jimmy Page himself. Only tracks it hasn't got on there are In My Time of Dying and When the Levee Breaks, which are two of my favourite songs, partly because of the drumming, John Bonham's drumming in them, which are absolutely brilliant. So that's the only thing. You need to make up your own compilations. And I'm going to pick one more, because 6, yes, I know, Chris, but you know, quickly, I'm going to put this one in there. The Story of the Clash. The Clash, another one of those bands that came out of the punk era, and this, once again, a compilation, a double album, as was the remasters, and it's got just about everything you want on there. But I could pick loads of different. There's lots of things that I nearly picked up. A Tamla Motown CD that I just found, which is 3 CDs of just literally the best sort of stuff that come out of that, because I love that sort of thing as well. But my musical tastes range far and wide, as anybody who watches my videos knows. So I couldn't really narrow it down. I just hope that other people bring some good stuff as well. But you always keep those songs in your head, don't they? The good ones always stay in your head anyway, which is one of those good things about music. It brings back memories, and memories bring back music as well, if that makes any sense at all. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for a great idea. I've seen some of the other ones, the responses so far, all very good, and you've certainly hit a chord here, I think, and something that obviously appeals to lots of other people. So a little desert island discs scenario. Maybe you can do books next. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.